You're tuned into All2ReelToo. Be sure to subscribe, download, share the show with a friend, and stop by all2reeltoo.com for our social links, Patreon, and TeePublic store info.
Hi, I'm Chris.
And I'm Jeremy.
And I'm Fergal.
And we're from Movie Smash.
Comic book movies are having a golden age right now with the MCU.
Movies based on comics aren't necessarily a new thing, but they're a big thing.
Join us every other Tuesday on Movie Smash.
We explore these movies and find some hidden gems.
Every other week, we revisit some of the best.
And some of the worst movies based on comics or graphic novels.
Was Green Lantern as bad as you remember?
Heck no!
Is Time Cop the most accurate time travel movie ever created?
Absolutely.
Was Mystery Men way ahead of its time?
Should they be revisited? Should they be forgotten?
Join us on Movie Smash and find out. Listen wherever you find your fine podcasts.
Okay, everybody, welcome to the latest episode of All2ReelToo. My name is Michael E. Cullen II, and with me, as always, is...
Sesame, you have to win the house in Cardiff.
Okay.
You gotta win it. Gotta
You
do
do?
it. Mm-hmm. Can't buy it. Can't buy it. You gotta win it.
Are we talking like in government, or are we talking about a house you live in?
Both.
Both?
Yeah.
So... if I ever want to own a house, I have to win it. I mean, with the economy the way it is right now, that's pretty much the only chance you have to win a house. But yeah,
A more honest way of winning the domestic house.
yeah. Well, one day.
Yeah.
I wonder if I could buy one in France.
Maybe.
That'd be a good place to have a house. I don't speak French though.
Well, you can learn it.
It's true. I don't know if my brain works like that. I think I've gone past the point of learning a second language. I don't know though. I can say Ich heiße Michael in German. That's it.
Yeah.
Just means hi, I'm Mike. Anyway, today on the show, we're delving into like the weird, crazy world of VHS tapes. You know, there you can't really find movies in the United States on DVD, but you can find this movie called Adrénaline. Adrénaline. I was trying to say it with a French accent and it didn't come out well. Adrénaline. But it's got like a little thing above the E.
Yeah.
So I don't know if that changes the pronunciation. Yeah, it's a French film that's made up of a bunch of short films, 13 short films. It's directed by several people. You've got Anita, Assal, Barthélémy, Bompard, Philippe Dorison, John Hudson, Jean-Marie Meddeddu. I don't know. Meddeddu. Meddeddu. I don't know. I'm sorry for any of our French listeners.
Yeah, if you have more information about this movie, though, I would love, personally, I would love, this is one of my favorite movies of all time. My friend had this huge stack of DVDs of burned movies, and like each DVD had 10 different movies on it. All kinds of cool shit, like a bunch of Italian horror films from the 70s. And then this little bad boy was just in there out of nowhere. Just, I'm like, oh, what's this one? He's like, oh, you like this? Pops the bitch in. And I'm like, okay. I could sort of understand. And then boom, like halfway through, I'm like, oh, this is actually one of my favorites. There's one particular scene within this movie that not even lying, I've probably watched at least 100 times, and you'll probably understand which one it is. You'll probably be able to guess which one it is. But great.
The other directors are Jan Picor, and Elaine Robach. So I just wanted to give them all credit. It's a bunch of writers too.
Well, of course.
I'm not going to name all of them because most of them are the same as the directors. So yeah, and I don't want to butcher anybody else's names. And then there's a bunch of actors in the movie too.
A lot.
Yeah, some of them are the same as the writers, but
I mean, there you go. You got writer, director, and acting.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah. So anyways, you were already saying how you felt about it. So it's one of your favorite movies. Yes. So I was going to ask you how you discovered this, but you did tell me that it was when your friend gave you these DVDs. Yeah. That's pretty cool.
DVDs, but you have to play them on a special kind of software that for whatever reason, it worked on my old DVD player, but every time I have a new computer tower. I haven't tried them. Maybe it'll accept it because they were basically, not 100% legit, just, and so they were, and Yeah. So that was one of them. Like, I if I can try to figure out how to make it so I can watch these, and we have a treasure trove of movies that we can go. I mean, we got Beaver trilogy. That's sort of like a kind of cult classic. Was starring 3 different actors. One of them, Sean Penn. Same story.
Yeah. I'm very familiar with that. I watched a documentary about them making those movies.
That's a good one. Again, a bunch of the 1970s Italian horror movies were pretty good. There's one a Swedish horror film from this. A lot of them from the 1970s. Anyway, if I can get these things up and running, I mean, we're easily talking about like 200, 300. So, and a lot of them are really obscure shit. So yeah, that maybe that'll be my next project for 2026. Just getting this up and running, and yeah,
sounds like a plan.
Yeah. What else am I gonna do for 2026?
Hey, you've got Crispin Glover and Sean Penn in that Beaver trilogy. Yeah.
And the first guy, I don't know. Unfortunately, I don't know the first guy from the first of the trilogy. The one who kicks it off. I don't know. But
yeah.
Earlier.
There's a documentary that came out. The Beaver trilogy Part 4 is what it's called.
Yeah.
And it was came out in like 10 years ago, or 11 years ago as you're listening to this, because this will come out in 2026. But in 2015, and it was narrated by Bill Hader. So yeah.
But yeah, this movie right here, Adrénaline. I don't like every single scene in here, but just the concept of the movie and the style of horror is what I like. I don't like gore. That's not my thing. I like suspense. I like fear of the unknown. That's one that really scares. Or like claustrophobia, because the claustrophobia plays a big part in this movie. And probably at least half of the scenes have to do with claustrophobia. Yeah. I'm pretty sure whoever wrote the movie.
I have my feelings about some of these things where I have feelings about the motivation for or the meaning behind some of these short films.
Okay.
At least what I took away from them. But yeah, I enjoyed it a lot. It reminded me a lot of some of the stuff I watched in my experimental film classes when I was in college. It was very, very much, you've got your short films very much, very much inspired by a lot of these experimental filmmakers, because this is basically just an experimental film.
Yeah, there's no it's pretty much that kind of.
There's no there I guess there's a beginning, middle, and end in a lot of these shorts, but it's not like a easy peasy story. But what do you want to talk about specifically from these that stood out to you?
Just some of the ones that I like the most. Some of them I actually don't even remember most scenes when I was watching it until I remember actually. Okay, I remember that. I only remember 2 of the scenes, probably because I watched them on their own when they were but there's one I want to talk about later. It's kind of near the halfway through, maybe like a little bit halfway through the movie. But there are like some, like for example, the ceiling, the ceiling is just trying to crush the woman that went out, or the car, the self-driving car.
The woman is trapped with a descending ceiling. That's called Revestriction. 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 I mean, a lot of these are in French, so I don't know what that is. The titles. Yeah, it's interesting. Yeah,
which is weird because one scene, a guy's actually watching something and it's in English, like American football game. But that's the only thing in English.
It was a baseball game. It was like, because I was listening to it and they were talking about like the bottom of the something, and then they were talking about a pitcher and stuff like that. I was listening. They were talking about Darryl Strawberry at one point.
Okay, yeah, this was 1990. I mean, it was made in '89. It came out.
Yeah.
There's that one. I also really like the one where you have Win the House. That was pretty. What I like about that one is like they would put in like these weird little things in the middle of the scene just to kind of like would do some more. Like it will say like to be continued like 3 minutes before the scene actually ends. Yeah. That's one of them. Another one is where you win the house and there's a bunch of different basically like Saw, a bunch of different traps, and you have to go through all the traps to quote win the house. And at one point he gets like clobbered by like some kind of like device, and then it just says thanks for watching. It's not even over yet. It's like what the hell?
Because that one was the one where the man goes through the house. It's like a bunch of booby-trapped corridors to escape from a house to win it. That was called Corridor.
I like that one a lot. That one was one of my favorite, because that one was, some of these scenes you could tell like had maybe a bigger budget than the other ones, and there's more stuff going on. Like that scene right there had a lot of contraptions, literally and metaphorically. And you got this other one. I mean, I don't know why I'm just going like.
Yeah.
What's going on before he's like,
I mean, I like the one. It's called Embouteillage. There's a man who is being attacked by a bottle.
yeah, a good one.
That was my favorite one for some reason. I think the whole thing is about alcoholism.
I got that too. I was wondering if that
it was completely about alcoholism. And then he's like trapped in the bottle at the end of the short. So yeah,
I think so because the whole, the whole time he's literally fighting with this bottle. And then at one point it looks like he's drinking it and then he just walks away doing all, literally fight his addiction.
And I thought it was interesting. He even tried to drown it in the sink.
Yeah. That was a really good one. I like that. That was pretty simple. I like that one a lot. I like the one where the house when you have because at the end of that scene, he finally somehow survives. I don't know how because he got a spear through him at one point, and then his face is all bandaged up, and he's like, "Okay, I won the house, you dumb drunks," or whatever. Then he walks outside. There's nothing there. He just falls to his death. Yeah. But that was, what's the metaphor for that? We could say like home ownership is the metaphor of how hard it is to buy a home and you have to go through all these different options just to even get it. But once you actually do buy the home, you fall to your death because you basically you're in debt, in debt you're never going to get out of. Maybe it's metaphor for that. I don't know. Probably not. But there's another scene. And again, we don't have to go through like in depth because these scenes are hard to really describe in detail everything that goes on. If I wrote down notes, maybe, but I didn't write down.
I should have said this at the top. If you want to see this, let us know.
I have a file.
Send me a message at mike@cullenpark.com and I will send you a link. Yeah.
It's burned in English subtitles, so well, unfortunately, if you don't need them, they're in there. You can't stop. Only way I could do it was the actual file. I'm not computer savvy.
Subtitles are not 100%.
They're not.
Yeah. So, but it's still it helps a little bit. But
it helps a little bit.
Even then, if you just watch it in its original French, I don't think you're missing much. So.
Dialogue and it's only a few sentences. So there's that one. There's another scene that I didn't like too much, but I still thought it was really interesting. Where this guy, he's being tortured, and he just keeps laughing at his torturer the whole time, which is pissing off the torturer even more. But not afraid of him, he just keeps laughing at him.
Yeah,
it's so like he's just getting really frustrated because he can't break this guy, and eventually he saws his entire body in half, and he has nothing but a head anymore.
Yeah,
and then they dump his head into a field, and he's still alive somehow. And there's this woman who runs up to him and she's like, "Oh, I'm so glad to see you." And he's like, "I didn't say anything to them." And then he's like, "You promised me, right?" He goes, "Yeah, a promise is a promise." And she lifts up her skirt. She puts it over his head. And then he performed you-know-what on her. Yeah. And that's the end of the scene. So my takeaway is this guy, not trying to be crude, but her pussy must have been so great that he was willing to lose his head over it. I'm not trying to be crude. I'm just saying.
Yeah. It's
sorry.
Yeah. I didn't really care for that one. It was okay.
No, I didn't like that one. I'm just saying.
I found the effects that they used interesting, though, when they were torturing him. I figured out how they did it, but it was kind of interesting, too, though, like where they cut off his arms and stuff like that. But it was like...
And he's just laughing the whole time.
Yeah, but it was interesting because I think it was just his head coming out through a fake body and in his arms and stuff. It was kind of like puppeted. But yeah, but it looked kind of real for a point. But yeah. The one that was like the weirdest to me was this guy's just and it grossed me out for some reason. This guy is sticking flies to a wall of a room in a grid pattern, and then he goes to meet, like, I don't know if it was a prostitute or his girlfriend or what, but she has like a mole on her face, and he mistakes that for a fly, and he strangles her and then adds it to his wall. It's just like weird.
Because he had like this weird beard too, like one of those beards where it's like shaven except for like the neck, I guess neck beard. I hate that style.
Yeah,
I don't know if anyone likes. I just don't like it. But like, no, but he was giving kids like 20 cents or whatever. Like if they give him a fly that they caught, and he'd knock on his door, he'd give him like some money, and then he'd put it onto his pattern. And what happens at the end though? At that one, why don't you tell us about that?
Oh, I'm trying to remember what happened at the end of that one. I just didn't like it so much. I almost forgot. I think I forgot what happened.
Okay, what happens is that all of a sudden the flies start buzzing, and he goes crazy. He knocks his head against the wall to make himself pass out or whatever. And then
I mean, watching this thing kind of makes me want to do some experimental film films just for fun. I used to make those a lot just because I enjoyed that. Because like I like Maya Deren and Stan Brakhage and other people like that were kind of my like heroes when I was making films early on for some reason. So
right. My favorite. Sorry, I a little bit ago. Sorry, that was me, correct? My favorite though. Hold on. So let me see if you. See how well you know me. What do you think is my favorite sketch of? Take a guess.
Oh, wow. That's looking over the list that I have of them all.
Can't think of it. It's fine.
I'm guessing the one called TV Buster, where a couple are menaced by a possessed television.
Yes. Yes, that's it. That's my favorite. Yes. I love that one so much. That was, I actually put back when you could have this on YouTube because now I don't think I've seen, but I used this scene to put at the end of one of my weird experimental music videos. It's the whole scene. So it's like 7 minutes of the scene after the song I recorded. And so basically, I don't really understand. Now that I got the subtitles, I can sort of understand what was happening. I mean, I already knew a little bit just from watching. Yeah. I mean, basically, from what I can gather is that this couple, they're eating dinner, like, just like your middle class, kind of couple dinner, they're watching the news. And suddenly the news starts telling a story about these terrorists who had just like one of their plots had gotten foiled by the government. And then they show the picture and it's the two of them. And then they're kind of like freaking out. They're like, well, maybe it just looks like us. But then like they keep showing different pictures. And it's like, oh, that's definitely us. And they're kind of like, see, I don't know what to make of this. So because when I first saw this, or like the first 50 times I watched this, my takeaway was that this really wasn't them, that this was like some weird hallucination he was giving them, or they were hiding out. But like they really were. I mean, I don't think they'd be hiding out because they were like living in an apartment or a house. It did not look like a safe house. It looked like their actual home. Like you wouldn't be like if you're on the run, you wouldn't just be at your regular house. You know what I mean? Just chilling out.
Like I'm thinking is it's just like I found it to be like almost like a metaphor where all of your the feelings you're having are presented on the television. Like you're like at one point, like the woman on the screen is like flirting with the guy.
Literally calling him by his name and everything.
And then the woman kind of is like getting kind of upset at the guy about it. It's like your fears and other things appearing on the television, and almost like the idea of how we kind of narcissistically view the world through our own mind. So like even when you're watching TV, you relate with things in a certain way that it actually creates this kind of feeling. That's how I took away from it,
Yeah, I think you're right, because like at one point they're watching the news, they're watching a political rally, and it's of course some guy really talking about the fatherland loves you and are good patriots. And at one point they literally become demonic and are possessed and they're just like screaming. So that's another metaphor of right-wing politics. Anyway, and so, like at one point they're in the middle of the rally and then they're like, and these two citizens are responsible for everything that's going wrong in our country, and it shows a picture of both of them. And then like they literally start screaming, like people are like jumping up in their seats and like looking around like all paranoid, and like one woman's like literally just like sticking out her tongue like a Kiss concert, and they're like at one point the guy says like my son. I'm not sure if that's a bad translation or not, because some of that stuff, it's really hard to even hear what they're saying, so my program may have not even been able to translate it, just how bad the audio is sometimes. Somebody's saying and then so basically it gets to a point like where the TV literally becomes possessed, just like you said. It's like showing them like their greatest political fears of like them being ostracized or like being exposed as like two people who are responsible for all the country's ills, and how you could see it's too because like they progressively get more afraid before it goes into that kind of. So like you said, they're kind of getting tense by watching this, and it just gets worse and worse and worse until finally the TV literally becomes possessed. What I didn't understand though, which there may have not been a metaphor at all, just because they maybe just thought it was cool. Yeah. She calls this number, and then like this woman comes in with like an antenna, but it's shaped like a cross, and she's like praying over it, like kind of like how an exorcist would pray over like men or whatever. I don't know who this woman was, because at one point she looked kind of like the woman that was the wife of the dude, like from like a different multiverse or a different version of herself, or like sister.
I took that to be like it was kind of like an exorcism of the television.
Yeah, I know, but at one point, when the television is winning, so to speak, she looks at the photograph and it's of the woman, and then she like looks like really emotional, and then that's like what gives her the courage to like finish the job. So I don't know if there's like some context here of like, do they know each other for somehow, or is just some kind of weird. Anyway, so we find she literally does like, she's like praying, like she's like bowing her head, kind of like, you know, like how the exorcist would. And she's like, she actually has like a remote. She has a book that's supposed to be like a prayer book, but inside has like a bunch of like grids and stuff like you would for like electronic device. And she's like tapping like the codes or whatever. And then that's what's like making her pray over and it's like, and you can see the guy who's doing the political rally. He's kind of like retreating a little bit because like the prayer is like working on him or whatever. And
he's really like shrinking down, like not like shrinking.
Yeah, literally shrinking. Yeah. And then she jams her fist through to find the TV. Literally has a beating heart, which I'm pretty sure is a metaphor for that. And then it electrocutes and probably kills her. And that's the end of that scene. But that's my favorite one of the whole because that was just so, I don't know what it is. It's just it's good.
Another decent one was this one where it's called Les Symmetries des Elephants, where cars take control and drive the people that are trapped inside to a junkyard, and then they're like crushed in the cars.
Yeah, that's a good one.
Yeah, I don't know what the metaphors for that was, but I think it might have been something about like traffic in general or something. But
traffic, or just the fact that like usually people are driving their cars to and from work, and most jobs are less, and so you know it's kind of like them feeling like they're literally being crushed to death. I don't know.
Yeah, before that one, there was one called Graffiti, which was an old lady who has a cat in a bag. And the cat's like meowing and stuff like that, and she's like this sweet lady, and then she just like takes the bag and starts beating the cat up against. I mean, what we were assuming a cat in the bag, like the wall, and then she puts a paintbrush into the bag and then basically draws a heart with an arrow through it on the wall in the blood of the cat.
Her heart's broken because she just killed the cat. she has to express herself. She has to express herself for what she did.
Yeah,
that was a weird one. I didn't know it. I don't like it when animals get killed in movies, even if it's for like stock value. I don't like that too much. So I had to sit through that one. I was like, come on.
I don't either. I mean, it was smart. There's no cat involved.
Like
there was one called it was called Cyclope, which I think is like French for Cyclops.
Probably.
And there was like a guy who's like this is the one where the baseball game's playing.
Oh, right.
This guy's like a security guard watching all these CCTV cameras, closed circuit televisions. And one of them turns into a mechanical bug and attacks him, and then eventually shoots him with a crossbow into one of his eyes. So that's why it's called Cyclops, I think. So
it's right after a lot of these scenes too. It's right after they quote defeat the thing, and then they end up afterwards. Like kind of pisses me off. Like the woman with the ceiling. Mm-hmm. She eventually jumps out the window,
and
but then
she doesn't jump out the window. She actually crawls through the ceiling.
That's right.
And then she comes out in the middle of the road and then is hit by a van or something. So it's like
basically, it's probably some nightmare because there's no physics in this dream where you can just punch through a ceiling that's descending on you. But where's it descending from?
Yeah, I mean, almost all of these things are like a fever dream. It's just. It's, and it was so weird. Like I watched this right after I woke up and I had a weird dream last night. So, it was, in my dream, I am with a bunch of friends and we go to this hotel, and it's one of these hotels where you enter the door to enter to the hotel room is outside, not like inside a hallway. And I go into the room and it's like a really small, narrow room where basically it's just a bed. And then at the end, there's like a bathroom I can see. And then, the walls disappear. And then all of a sudden we're out in the middle of a field laying in our beds. And then somehow we join a cult.
Oh my God.
It was just a fucked up dream, man. I don't know what any of it meant. But and then there was like this dream where we were all like, I'm like trying to help this little kid escape because I find out they want to like basically make him the new leader of the cult, and he doesn't want to be. It was just so weird. Wow. Yeah. But anyways, this thing all ends with one where this guy takes off his clothes and puts on like a like smock sort of thing, and then an artist like repeatedly punches him in the face until his head is like unrecognizable, and it's like a bunch of bumps and bruises. And then we cut to a shot where his head is on like a pillar in like an art museum or something, and that's called sculpture physique.
It's such a bizarre, gruesome.
in between each of these sketches, because or not sketches, but films, they all start out. It starts out first off with a guy like crawling through the desert and stuff, and then he gets onto like some concrete, and he's a blind guy, and all of a sudden there's like this queue or line of blind people that we just keep cutting to.
They're always just like standing around with sunglasses or glasses.
Yeah, and sometimes they're laughing.
Just snapping their fingers. Other times banging their canes on the ground or whatever. Yeah, I'm not even sure what that was about. Even meant anything at all, or if it was just something that they put in between scenes.
Yeah.
At the very end, though, they take off the glass laugh. So that's that. Killer music too, by the way. A lot of I want to know who wrote some of these compositions, because really, really, really good shit. Especially the last song, the very last outro, the credits or whatever. It's really cool. It goes on for about 4 minutes. The music that's also in the I think the music that's from the junkyard scene, and also the one with the I know he was using like a Korg keyboard for one of the instruments.
Yeah, I can give the composers credit here.
Yeah, please, because
got Eric Dabrizi. He did the music for Embouteillage, the one about the guy with the bottle, and Revestriction, which was the woman trapped in the room. And then we've got Richard Gili. He did the Les Cementaires de Elephants, which is the junkyard one. And Metrovision. Did I talk about what the heck was Metrovision? Oh, that one was the first one. A man boards a subway train and goes out of control.
Oh, right.
Yeah. And then I don't think they have all of the music here listed, but then they have Giles Hickamain. He did Corridor, which is the one about the house. Yeah. And then we got Jean-Marc Pedervani, and he did the Interrogation one, and Interrogation, the one where the guy ends up eating pussy at the end. I mean, no better way to say it.
There is no.
Yeah.
Literally. Yeah. So they don't mention the one with the TV? God damn it. I'll have to find that on my own.
Yeah, they don't say. That's just what's listed. This is on the Internet Movie Database. I'm sure that you might be able to find the information somewhere else, but I couldn't find too much about this movie in general except for there. And then I was able to get a breakdown of the through IMDb of each of the segments from a user review. Right. The guy, one of the users just let me see if I can find it. I'll give the guy credit. The user's name is B.A. Harrison. Wrote this last year or 2 years ago when this airs. He just said how it was bizarre, and then he wrote down his short description of each of the short films. So and their names. So that was helpful.
Thank you for helping us.
Yeah. I mean, on Letterboxd, it's got decent reviews from a bunch of people. So I'm
on there right now. Yep. Adrenaline. Adrenaline. Green, short, surrealism. Yeah. There's that mix of mild gore, cynical humor, and absurd. Yep.
Yeah. So that's the Adrenaline, folks. Yep. Anything else you want to say about that?
No, not really. This is a short episode. Just if you want to check it out, I definitely have a way to. Mike also has a way of presenting it to you, maybe as a well, not really, because half the time it's out there. But just like a gift in general. It doesn't have to be a holiday gift. It's I might work on the subtitles a little bit more. Maybe I'll make a cleaner version because I just use an SRT file, and sometimes that fucks up the accents of certain languages. The code kind of makes it look all stupid. So I don't know. Maybe I don't know. Who knows? Maybe I'll just keep it this way. I don't know.
See, either way, it's worth watching. Yeah. My voice is echoing.
Train in the background. Train. I wonder if that's like a new.
So folks, I live right near a train track, and I'm like a block and a half away.
To have a podcast next to the track. It's fine.
And it's really hard to soundproof my apartment. So I might try to work on it a little bit. But if you hear a train in this episode or any episode, that's why. I'm not adding it in the future. It might not even be there when this airs. I might be able to take it out somehow.
It's just
So hopefully that doesn't annoy people. But anyways, folks, hope you enjoyed this episode. Go to all2ReelToo.com and check out our links there. We got links to all of our social media. We also have links to our Patreon. I really want people to check out our Patreon.
Please.
if you want to keep listening to us, it's the best way to help us. I know I hate to ask for money or anything, but it's the best way. You can get some cool perks. We got different tiers on there. It's a good way to help people out. A lot of people don't understand what Patreon is, but it's probably the best way to help out our podcast. Our Patreon is, you can find it at patreon.com/Cullen Park.
Yeah.
I wanted to change it, but it wouldn't let me. So it's the official Patreon for both all2reeltoo.com and cullenpark.com. So right now I can tell you what kind of perks we have here, folks. You can our tiers here. We have let me check out where are our tiers at. Here we go. I think maybe. Okay, yeah. Under become a member, you can find the tiers. They changed the way that Patreon looks, folks. To mess with me. If you join our podcast family at $1 a month, you can get early access to every episode of our show and thanked by the hosts. That'd be Sesame and I in a future episode. For $10 a month, you can pick a podcast episode topic. If you ever wanted someone to dive deep into a film or TV show episode or other pop culture topic, you can pick the topic we cover in an upcoming episode of All2ReelToo podcast, as well as the benefits at the lower level. So yeah. And then for $25 a month, you can produce with Cullen Park a series of 3 episodes on a special topic of your choice, or just 3 episodes about 3 different movies if you want. And you get the lower benefits as well. So our big one, for $150 a month, you can have a featured role in an upcoming film from Cullen Park Productions. You must provide your own transportation to set, and you will also get all of the above tiers. So yeah.
Nice. And occasionally, it's not a guarantee, but if you're on tier number 3, I'm just making this up.
Yeah.
I think at one point I did tell our fans, our listeners, that if they do, I forgot what it was, but I will chew beetle nuts for a day and then talk about the effect beetle nuts, which is basically a drug. Sorry, I shouldn't say that word. A substance that 800 million people in the world take on a daily basis. Highly carcinogenic, by the way, so I don't recommend it.
And we might be able to convince Sesame to review a movie of your choice too while we're doing that.
While chewing beetle nut, exactly. So then I'll have to because it's a very stimulated substance, so I'd have to keep my calm, which is it's hard for me to do. I'm not right now. I drink water. That's how I sound like, with water and milk. So put me on a stimulant, and then it might actually calm me down, because I've got ADHD. You take a stimulant, and that's actually so if anything, beetle nut might actually, whatever the case may be, I'll chew beetle nut for you on film. Probably going to be disgusting, but hey, you asked for this. I mean, you didn't. I'm offering it for you, but you're going to get it. Don't have it, and then you just still want.
And I'm going to throw this out here, and this will just be for people that are listening. If you join at the pick a podcast episode level, or the podcast producer level, we'll allow you to be on an episode as a guest via Zoom. Or not Zoom, but via StreamYard or whatever works for you. We'll have you on. So, also, folks, we do have a TeePublic. We've got lots of merchandise there, T-shirts and everything. That's a good way to help out. Also, spread the word. Tell your friends, tell your family, tell your enemies, tell whoever to listen to the episode.
Tell your teachers, tell your garbage men, tell your dentist, tell your mail carrier, tell your dog.
Tell a random lady that's carrying a cat in a purse.
Yeah. Make sure she doesn't take the cat out of her purse and set the cat free. Let it run.
Sometimes it's good to let the cat out of the bag. Yeah. Anyways, also, folks, just follow us on social media anywhere. It's a good way to help it and share the episodes. Remember, folks, there's a lot of crap going on in the world, and just remember that things are always going to get better. They might get worse first, but eventually they'll get better. But remember that trans lives are human lives.
Yep.
No human is illegal.
Yep.
Free Palestine. Fuck ICE. Be different. Be yourself. And just remember that I love you. Don't kill cats.
No, don't do it.
And baguettes. Je ne sais quoi. Voulez-vous coucher avec moi ce soir? Okay.
I know I could say my name. Je suis or sweet? Is it je suis, Matt?
I'm not sure.
I'm trying to learn French on Duolingo, but Duolingo.
I'm just saying anything I actually have ever said in French, which, was just me singing along with Lady Marmalade and...
right. Also,
yeah.
also, if an old lady tells you can win a house, don't do it.
No.
The call, don't do it.
Yeah, just be resigned to the fact that unless you're a billionaire or a millionaire, you're probably never going to own your home.
Yeah.
Because the economy sucks. And Sesame loves you.
Yes.
And until next time, bye-bye.
Thanks for listening to All2ReelToo podcast, a Cullen Park production. Produced and edited by Michael E. Cullen II. Music by Matthew Hawes. Subscribe and share the show. Visit us at cullenpark.com.
The new year brings new health goals and wealth goals. Protecting your identity is an important step. Your info is in endless places that could expose you to identity theft, leading to lost funds. LifeLock monitors millions of data points per second. If your identity is stolen, our restoration specialists will fix it, guaranteed, or your money back. Resolve to make identity health and wealth part of your New Year's goals with LifeLock. Save up to 40% your first year. Visit lifelock.com/podcast. Terms apply.